What's up, everybody? Welcome to the CFCDP YouTube channel. I'm super excited to bring this video today with you. It's going to be Chelsea player comps in the NBA. Alright, the first one we're going to do is Romelu Lukaku with prime Shaquille O'Neal from the Los Angeles Lakers. Both physically imposing in their respective sports. Both are apt with their back to their respective goals. And they are both physically dominant in their respective positions, but and they're bigger for their respective sports, but this doesn't allow them to have a lot of issues like it would with some people. They're able to use these physical attributes to be better and to just overpower opponents. And this was kind of the comp that really made me want to do this video, because I watched Lukaku yesterday for Belgium just absolutely post some guy up, turn, drill it on goal, and it reminded me everything of Shaquille O'Neal. Next is Mason Mount and Luca Doncic, both young superstars in the making. Luca Doncic is a very versatile offensive player and defensive player at times. Luca is able to give up points, rebounds, and assists, and I believe that Mason Mount's very similar, as he can do a little bit of everything on the pitch for you. Whether you're talking scoring, assisting, linking play, playing defense, Mason Mount is able to do this consistently at such a young age, and it reminds me of Luka Doncic, and they're both going to have amazing careers respectively. Next is Kai Havertz and Kobe Bryant. I'm going to add a young Kobe Bryant to this so no one gets confused, because Kai Havertz is not at Kobe Bryant levels at this point. But the picture with them both with their gold medals was too good to not to use, so I had to do it. Kai Havertz has signs of a young Kobe, simply based off of the ease that he has in the game, the way he glides around on the floor and the field respectively, and the way that they both work really hard, and they're both able to kind of show up in big games. Kai in the Champions League and Kobe on all the other occasions that he's done it. I don't know if Kai will ever reach Kobe Bryant levels. It's definitely possible, but based off of a talent aspect and the way that he can show up in big games, there's no reason why he couldn't, in my opinion. N'Golo Kante and Chris Paul. I think that this is one of the better comps that I had for Chelsea to NBA players. I think they're both really work hard. They're both a little bit injury prone, which isn't a good thing, but it's something that they do. And then you're going to look at their ball retention skills. Chris Paul always leads the league in steals pretty much every year. N'Golo is very good at ball retention. Their also ability to find passes up the field are nice, and they're both not known for their scoring, but passing and defense is what makes each of them great. And I think that also leadership, Chris Paul does his leadership a lot based off of how he plays on the court. N'Golo is very quiet, but he does lead on the field, and they rally behind their players because, when you see that these guys are out there putting it on the line, your teammates are going to want to do so also. Next is Georgino and Steve Nash. Georgino and Steve Nash are both registas, in my opinion, both controlling the game, linking play from offense to defense. Their ability to transition is really what makes them great, and their ability to do a job when it needs to be done needs to be good. Steve Nash always used to guard one of the best guards on the opposing team. His defense was always really good, gave it literally everything that he could, and was very creative as well with his passing. And I think that goes the same way with Georgino. I think Georgino is able to do very similar things, linking up play, finding a pass in the final third, and sort of being the orchestrator of the Chelsea attack and the defense at some points as well. Ben Chilwell and Darren Fox was my next comp. It was kind of hard to think of one for Ben Chilwell because I believe his story is a bit unwritten yet at Chelsea, but I think that's the same for Darren Fox. They're both very quick players. They're both able to score in the offensive end, but give you some on defense as well. Their defensive ratings are a little bit underrated in my opinion, so they're both able to do a job on both sides of the pitch. And obviously, Darren Fox is really good at being a point guard and controlling the tempo. And same with Chilwell on that left-hand side. He's able to link up, kind of like how Darren Fox does in pick and roll situations. So those two are my comps for each other. Next is Rhys and Zion Williamson. I think Rhys James and Zion are really good comps because they're both gifted with physical attributes that just make your jaw drop. But at the same time, they're growing in their skills in their respective sports, and that's going to make them great. You see Rhys getting constantly better at putting crosses in, putting shots in, dribbling, working in defensive situations, and I think you're going to see the same with Zion as well in terms of three-point shooting, defending, just kind of being a better passer as well. You're seeing that from Rhys and Zion, and I think that if they keep growing, their trajectories are going to be pretty similar and going to be very, very, very impressive and fun to watch for the years to come. Azpilicueta and Tim Duncan. I think that this was one of the more easy comps to do, in my opinion. Obviously, Tim Duncan is one of the greatest players in NBA history. Cesar is one of the greatest Chelsea players in history, one of the best captains. But that's really it. They put their, everything for the badge. Tim Duncan was a Spurs player for all of his years, and Cesar obviously wasn't, but he loves Chelsea. He is Chelsea, and he represents it. Same with Tim Duncan. They're also both very fundamental in all that they do. Their ability to not have the greatest athleticism, but to be able to know their sport and their craft well enough to not let that define them. It's amazing. And the ability that they're going to show up every big game with with those fundamentals and be able to take care of business at a very, very high level is impressive. Thiago Silva, I'm going with Gary Payton here. I think that when you look at what Gary Payton was, he was a defensive stalwart, and he was with the Sonics for many years, kind of made his mark there. And I think that it's very similar to Thiago, where he made his mark at PSG, but he had to go to Chelsea to win a Champions League, while Gary Payton had to go to the Lakers to win a championship. Very similar, very good at their old ages as well when they went to those respective teams. But I think that Gary Payton defensively also reminds me a little bit about Thiago, an orchestrator defensively, a hard-nosed defender willing to step in and take a tackle if he has to, and just smart passing as well. Underrated offensive games also. Last on the back line, we got Rudiger and Kevin Garnett. I think this is a slam dunk comp. I think they both are very, very intense, very, very strong defensively. Kevin Garnett was very long, same with Rudiger, so their athleticism is there, but it wasn't the main part of their games that really made them dominant. They're both intense. They know how to play the position, and they can get into an opponent's head if need be. These two can both be super aggressive, can step up offensively as well with some nice runs from Rudiger as well as Kevin Garnett's 15-footer. It was just pretty easy comp because they're both very intense, very physical, and both winners at their respective locations. Goaltender Mutombo with Edouard Mendy, both unbelievably long shot stoppers. Both kind of have that bit of they really shouldn't be here based off of their circumstances. Mendy with his almost giving up football in France. Same with Mutombo, coming from Africa, not a lot of resources, but both were able to step on the big stage, become household names, and be really good at their respective crafts. Finally, I had to do the coaches. Thomas Tuchel, I'm going to do Mike Budenholzer. It was kind of hard because Tuchel's kind of he's not like Budenholzer, but I think that their ability to take what they have and make them champions is why I went with this. Also, I believe that Tuchel paid his dues. Mainz, Dortmund, PSG, and now he's at his club in Chelsea. And I think similarly with Budenholzer, he was under Greg Popovich learning for 20 years. San Antonio, he went to Atlanta, had a great team, similar to how PSG had a great team with Tuchel, but it wasn't the right fit player-wise for them. But when they got to the respective locations, Chelsea and the Milwaukee Bucks, they were both able to find a team that was going to lead them to a championship. And they took care of that, and they're both winners. All right, well, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm hoping to have a lot more content coming out. Remember to please hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment. If you want to see any other comps too, please drop a comment and let me know, and I'll definitely take care of that. Thank you very much, and have a good day.